Sherlock.
He's not gay. Why do you have to spoil? He's not.
With that level of personal grooming?
Because he puts a bit of product in his hair. I put product in my hair.
Wash your hair, there's a difference. No, tinted eyelashes, clear signs of taurine cream around the frown lines, those tired crabber's eyes. Then there's his underwear.
Sherlock Holmes is a clever detective created by none other than Arthur Conan Doyle. His impressive character in Deductions were inspired by Doyle's university teacher, Dr. Joseph Bell. This is what he wrote on the man. It is certainly to you that I owe Sherlock Holmes. I do not think that his analytical work is in the least an exaggeration of some effects which I have seen you produce in the outpatient ward. This means that it is possible to think like Sherlock Holmes if you apply certain principles. The first principle, the Brain Addict.
Deleted it.
Listen, this is my hard drive, and it only makes sense to put things in there that are useful. Really useful. Ordinary people fill their heads with all kinds of rubbish, and that makes it hard to get at the stuff that matters. Do you see?
But it's the solar system.
Oh. A man should keep his little brain attic stocked with all the furniture that he is likely to use, and the rest he can put away in the lumber room of his library, where he can get it if he wants it. Don't clutter your mind by unnecessary information that is not practical to your life. Remembering everything is just as bad as relying on the internet to recall everything. Soldiers only keep their most practical weapons at arm's length. Why are you wasting your time remembering the life stories of every Instagram model or YouTuber? Sherlock had tremendous knowledge in certain areas of science like chemistry and anatomy, some practical knowledge of British law and geology, but very little in other disciplines like philosophy and physics, literature, and the rest disciplines. In The Adventure of the Noble Bachelor, he insisted, I read nothing except the criminal news and the agony column. Of course, he was exaggerating a little bit to affirm the importance of the mind addict. Action. How many books do you have in your library or devices? How many YouTube channels you are subscribed to? Take 30 minutes and donate, delete, or resell 50% of them. The second principle, exclude the impossible. It is an old maxim of mine that when you have excluded the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Sherlock makes sure that the hypothesis should fit the facts, or else it is dismissed, instead of the other way around. Confirmation bias is the most common natural bias that people fall for. They look for data that fits their own theories and denies opposite explanations. A good detective should gather raw data first from different primary reliable sources and combine the facts to formulate an initial hypothesis. Sherlock Holmes enters the room and finds the person offed. The gunshot wound is on the right side of his head. After everything is clear, he opens the door from the inside. The door was locked from the inside.
Look at the case, there was something tightly packed inside it.
Thanks, I'll take your word for it.
Problem?
Yeah, I'm not desperate to root around some bloke's dirty underwear.
Now they are trying to determine whether this person exited the world by choice or not. Whether it's an S or M. I'm trying to avoid demonetization. So remember, these are the two current theories. But what are the facts? The data that supports M is this. The door was locked from the inside. The data that supports S is this. The victim shows signs of being left-handed from the way he arranges and places items like the charger, the phone, and so on. The fact that he is left-handed but the wound is on the right side shows a contradiction, and there are traces that he was being threatened. When you take into consideration all the data, it appears that this is a murder scene, and someone tried to stage it as self-deletion. Sherlock Holmes eliminated the impossible, which is self-deletion theory, and worked with the improbable until he reached the truth. The process of elimination is crucial in deduction. The third principle, Bounce ideas off people. Nothing clears up a case so much as stating it to another person. The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. Throughout the scene, Watson seems a little bit defensive and contradicts all of Sherlock's observations, which suggests they might be on bad terms for some reason. However, Watson does this even when they are on good terms. He challenges Holmes by taking opposing sides and asking tough questions. When conducting observations, you need someone to challenge your assumptions. Someone that can provide you with a different perspective. Someone you can test ideas on. Even Watson stated, "I was a whetstone for his mind. I stimulated him." Now your task is to find people who challenge you. People who play the devil's advocate. The fourth principle, fragmentation. When dealing with a difficult problem, one can try to divide it into multiple fragments and solve each separate part on its own. In this scene, Sherlock attempts to solve the code. His first attempt is to use the divide and conquer algorithm or strategy. These are the following steps for the strategy. Number 1. Divide. Break the given problem into sub-problems of the same type. This step involves breaking the problem into smaller sub-problems. The second step. Conquer. Recursively solve these sub-problems. Number 3. Combine, which is appropriately combine the answers. Be like Hercules, who defeated the Hydra beast by methodically burning each one of its snake heads, instead of facing the impossible task of conquering it directly. Action. If you have a problem in your life that is giving you a hard time, divide and conquer it.
There's a margin for error, but I'm pretty sure there's a 747 leaving Heathrow tomorrow at 6:30 in the evening for Baltimore. Apparently it's going to save the world. Not sure how that could be true, but give me a moment. I don't even know the case for 8 seconds.
The fifth principle. Ask the right questions. Let's say you have observed someone for some time. You have collected data on what their clothes they are wearing, jewelry, haircut, height, weight, the absence or presence of tan, of tattoos, their habits, and so much more. Now you want to figure out what all this raw data means. The key is to ask the right questions. What does their clothing tell me about their profession or their destination? Where did they come from? What does their posture tell me about their personality or attitude? For instance, you see an athletic guy with a short haircut, with a straight posture, shaved face, and with a neck tattoo. You ask yourself, what is his profession? Now, you know he takes good care of his body, and his posture is quite assertive. His job could be physical in nature. His attitude towards hair, facial hair, in combination with the other data, might suggest that he is in some division of the military. However, if we ask the question of what is the military's attitude towards tattoos, his neck tattoo might say otherwise. The common policy towards tattoos in certain armies around the world is no tattoos. However, certain armies allow tattoos as long as it's not neck up or wrist down. This means that our friend is not military or someone who has been discharged. It's up to you to confirm if your theory is right or not by collecting additional data. Exercise. Go sit in a cafe shop or on a bench and try to observe how people behave. Try to learn more about their professions. It's better to conduct your experiment in places where people are not constantly moving around or away from you. Once you formulate your hypothesis, go test it and ask them if you are right or not. Remember, as long as you acknowledge the weirdness of your request, people will not react negatively. These are some principles that can help you think like Sherlock Holmes. I might make another video on the same subject in the future. Anyway, comment which principle you like the most, and don't forget to leave a like if you actually liked the video. The following videos that you see right now will help you improve your thinking, so check them out. Stay sharp.